Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector. This is a general or collective reading, so parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, so if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I've posted this, what was going on in your life then, that could give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, we have from the tarot for the underlying energy for the reading, we have the Queen of Pentacles. I've been doing a short meditation beforehand to get an idea of what's happening in the readings to see if that speeds things up a little. And so I've enjoyed doing it that way. So this is from the tarot. The Queen of Pentacles is one of four queens in the minor arcana, and she is representing the element of Earth, and the pentacles represent health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimension. She is known for being very resourceful. Also, she can make something out of nothing. She prefers quality over quantity. So this is talking about old money. It's not flashy money. She doesn't feel any need to impress anybody with designer this, designer that. This is a generational wealth that is passed down as a legacy to the next generation, one generation after the other. The thing that has been interesting, and it's kind of funny that she came out again here, because she's been coming out a lot, because every time she comes out, I ask the question, why is the Queen of Pentacles having to be so resourceful when she comes from generational wealth? What happened to the generational wealth? And so let's see if this reading, we've been getting different versions, so we'll see. This is the energy from my oracle for the underlying energy for the reading. And we have anticipation. So this is I'm talking about the Fool. The Fool in tarot, and in this, the characters that are vertical in my oracle are major arcana. Basically, they're the maestros of the deck. And the horizontal cards are the ones that are the medicine, or, the problem, basically. So this is about, she's the very first in the deck, the 0 card. In my oracle, there's twins, and one is 0 and the other one's 0. This is foolhardy, the other one is foolish. And they're identical twins, but they're in a slightly different order. So this is about being able to be, you're on your destined journey, and this is talking about being able to be in the energy of anticipation, because you know that you're on your destined path, and that you can look forward to the journey ahead. The energy, this dragon, each of my dragons is from each of my dragons is from a different area of the world or the universe. This dragon is from off the coast of Italy, and her identical twin is off the coast of Sicily, in a strait there. And this is her angel fairy, Fata Morgana. So we do have here the energy of heartbreak. So there was some sort of heartbreak, and maybe you've recovered for it, because now you're on this new journey. That's a foolhardy journey. It means you're on your destined path. So maybe you're recovering from this energy, because we have justice right after that. We have quite a few difficult cards here. So let's look at what's going on. This is heartbreak. It can be representing, like the Three of Swords. The swords in tarot represent the element of air. So this is your thoughts. And this is about, the swords represent your mental intelligence and discipline of your mind. Now, this is talking about, when you look at it, it's like, oh my gosh, there's 3 swords in this person's heart. But when you look again, you realize, wait a minute, the heart is actually quite big compared to the swords. So perhaps these are more like cocktail swords, a little bigger than that. You might have been hanging out with vampires. It's more like stakes in the heart kind of energy. But sometimes in matters of romantic love, this could represent a third-party energy having separated, you know, the energy between a couple. This can talk about an energy of gossip, slander, harsh words being spoken, perjury in court, what else? A fear to speak the truth. And so this is talking about these swords need to be pulled out and you need to heal your heart. And so this is the journey of healing your heart, I feel, is what's going on here. And we have justice coming in. So when justice comes in, generally that is talking about a shift in the energy. And we do have this energy of the Queen of Pentacles going on a foolhardy journey. Now, you could be the Queen of Pentacles energy. And this is talking about justice coming in. So the Justice card is representing, you know, she's sitting on her throne here and she's wielding the sword of justice. Behind her is this veil. And the veil represents the thin veil between the spiritual and the physical realm. So this could talk about justice not just for yourself, but maybe for your ancestors and your bloodline. This is talking about her right foot is forward, so she's ready to wield the sword of justice in a moment's notice. Now, justice is a double-edged sword. If you're on the right side of the law, spiritual and also in the 3D, you're going to, the justice is going to bring blessings in. And if you're on the wrong side of the law, well, of course, you've been caught and you're going to have to deal with the karma. Now, a lot of people feel that karma is punishment, but karma is actually cause and effect for actions taken and sometimes not taken that cause other people suffering. So, you know, this can talk about direct karma that you get because you've done something directly that causes other people pain, suffering, and struggle. And this is you directly did it, and so it's direct karma. Sometimes it can also be for not doing something when you can see someone is struggling and you could do something and you don't. Indirect karma is when, quite often from ancestors that couldn't finish cleaning up their business before they left the physical realm. And so this can be talking about getting justice for them as well as for yourself and descendants. This also can sometimes talk about associated karma from your, you know, associates that you do business with, family members, friends, etc., you know, peers, that type of energy. And then there's the karmic spaces, which we all can fall into. We're humans, so we have a tendency to fall into karmic spaces. Anyone can fall into them, you know, and it's just kind of doing your best to stay on the straight and narrow. We have the King of Wands. The King of Wands energy is talking about, you know, someone who's the King of Wands is considered to be very sexy and charismatic. This is someone that has a lot of passion. That this is representing the element of fire, and wood fuels the fire. So the wood wands are talking about having taking passionate action. This is someone who's visionary. He looks forward into the future. Someone that has a sharp intellect and also likes new adventures. So is willing to look at things from all different angles and approach things in a new way. Willing to explore the world and the adventures the world have. This is an optimistic attitude. Behind him on the throne here, we have these salamanders with their tails in a circle and one running by here. We have the lion as well, and this is talking about protection from fire. And this is this energy of protection from fire. I noticed a while back that we have like two eyes, a nose, a mustache, it looks like, and smoke coming out of the mouth. So it could just be saying, you know, the king is smoking hot, which he is, but it also could be saying that where there's smoke, there's fire. So one thing to know about the King of Wands when he comes into the picture, when it comes to his romantic life, sometimes he has a tendency, his visionary nature and his love for adventure kind of bleeds into his romantic life. So this is someone that you, all of the fire signs, that's Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, have a tendency to settle down a little bit later in life. They really value their freedom and their independence and have a tendency to not really want to commit to settling down till maybe sometime after the other signs do. I mean, when they do, but it might take them a little bit longer. So it's just something to keep in mind, you know. So sometimes when there's smoke, there is fire when it comes to the fire signs. And then we have this energy of, this is very much about this energy. These are the same type of sword energy. This is when you know, the Ten of Swords represents an energy of sabotage, being stabbed in the back until you're left on the ground and left for unalive, and hopefully not able to get back up. I think in this, this card hasn't been showing up so much, but in this last week, it's really been showing up a lot. And it showed up a lot at the beginning of the year. And I feel that's just because there's a shift in energy happening. And so a lot of times my general collective readings are kind of global, and they also talk about individuals at the same time. So there's a lot of energy that we're just seeing it in the news all the time, every day these days, of some sort of sabotage or some sort of people at the top of the pyramid in general. Because I mean, of course, they're the ones that are in the news. There's just all sorts of truths coming out, and it's a lot of people do feel like the rug's been pulled out for them from underneath them. So this can be talking about this global energy in that, you know, in that kind of way. At the beginning of the year, I mean, 2025 is a 9 year, like 2 + 2 + 5 is 9. And so that was talking about not just the end of a year, but the end of a decade, basically. And this energy, those two cards were coming out all the time. And the 9 and the 10 of Swords were coming out almost with every reading around the new year. And because 10 is 1 + 0 = 1, this is talking about the new beginning after the 9 of Swords, and the cycle ends and a new one begins. 2026 is a 10 year that breaks down to a 1. So it's talking about a lot of new energy coming in, and it's like not just a new year, but a new decade of energy. And so this is, you know, you've been stabbed in the back, and it may have been for a decade or even longer. This can talk about one person doing this 10 times, like annually, maybe. This can be talking about 10 different people. It can be talking about 10 groups of people. The hand is in the form of a blessing, the right hand. And when the Hierophant, who's responsible for making sure that justice is wielded, from the spiritual realm down to the physical, the Hierophant has his right hand in the form of a blessing. And so sometimes this card represents that this is a blessing in disguise, that whatever happened here, it stopped you from being with those people, basically, because they're about to, justice is coming in. This is really nasty energy. I feel like this card keeps coming up over and over again lately, and quite often with this one. So this kind of represents an energy, like there is, you know, we just had the solstice on the 21st, and it's the 24th as I'm doing this reading now. So, you know, the solstice is talking about the longest, in the summer is the longest day and the shortest night. So I feel like light is being shed on this situation. And it's coming to the end, and a new beginning is coming. So get up. It's saying you have to get up. Like you have to get up and do your best to heal your heart, so that you can move forward. This could be a blessing in disguise, but you have to, this is an energy where some people just don't get up. And I think it keeps coming up because we're talking more on a global level as well. Sometimes this energy, there's a lot of possibly been people before you that didn't have the strength to get up. And so perhaps you're clearing energy for more people than you realize, and that this justice is coming in for people that maybe can't get up. They just don't have the strength to do so anymore. So if you can get up, you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for other people that didn't have the strength to do so. And then we have the 6 of Pentacles coming in. This energy of the 6 of Pentacles is talking about, you know, sometimes it can talk about breadcrumbing energy. people wanting to use your money, risk your money rather than their own. Or, this is talking about this individual has 6 pentacles, and that would be like upper middle class energy, is giving to charity here. But this person, he's not giving money to, because there's the scale of justice are above this person's head, and there is something in this person's pocket already. So this is talking about someone who wants to use your money and pretend they don't have any, like, oh, I don't have any money, but they'll use your money and risk your money, but they won't risk their own. And sometimes this energy, like, it's kind of on, we have 2 bank accounts. We have the one in the spiritual realm, and we have one on the physical. And so sometimes this energy can also be talking about someone who really, they understand that this energy, but they give to people free, like from their heart. And it's people would assume, oh, well, they have lots to give. They don't actually. They know they'll have to make some sacrifices for themselves if they give to others in this way, but they do it because they have a good heart, and that is going to put their bank account into, and in the spiritual realm, that is adding to their bank account, but in the physical, it can cause issues. So then we have this energy. The sun is shining on this. So this is saying, yes, what I just said is true. It was funny. It came up in meditation as well. Like sometimes people, I don't know what it is, but people feel that when people are in this energy and they just can see, hey, that person needs help. You don't wait for them to ask. You just go help them. You can see that they can't get up or whatever, so you go and you help them up out of the chair, or whatever, right? And some people will just stand there and watch people struggle like that and won't ask, can I help you? Like, would you like me to help you stand up there? Would you like me to carry your bag, till you get to the bus or whatever that is? And so this is an energy of the sun shining on this. And so the sun is the happiest card in the deck. So when it comes up, it means that God is here shining light on the situation. And of course, this is the happiest card in the deck. So it reflects its light on all the rest of the cards here. And so this is like talking about your destiny, your path that you're on. This is talking about a young child sitting on this pony and carrying this banner with ease because it's his destined path. And there's no fear, there's no rains, there's no need for them. The sunflowers are all turning with the sun, just showing that this is just this is how human beings are meant to be. They have choice and to be happy and to choose being happy by following their destiny, being in God's plan, being good to other people, that type of energy. And then we have the 6 of Swords. And so the 6 of Swords is talking about an energy of needing maybe to heal some inner child issues. This can talk about the sabotage here. Maybe this has brought up some issues from your childhood that needed to be looked at. And so that's, this is talking about... this boat there's rough water here and then there's calm water here, and the sun is shining on this. So this is about going off from rough water to calm water with God so that you can heal this heartache. And it's talking about, like we have an adult and a child and no baggage. And we have this conveyor has this long pole, and he has to reach really deep into the mud underneath the water here to push off out of this. So this is about having to dig deep to heal some inner child wounds and going off to meditate and pray and ask God for assistance to heal your heart after having like this energy happen to you. So I guess if this is the Queen of Pentacles energy, definitely, well, no wonder she has to be resourceful if this is what she's been dealing with, especially if it's been for over a decade. And then we have the Page of Swords energy, and the page is talking about information, communication coming in. Now, sometimes after going away to meditate and pray like this could be like an aha moment a breath of fresh air coming from within, you know, from when like you're just all of a sudden doing the dishes and you have like this aha moment about something like that you've been thinking about for maybe days or weeks, and all of a sudden it's like, I get it, I understand what happened, and it clears the air. It's like a breath of fresh air. But this can also represent you know, communication from others, of course. And this is again the Page of Swords, so it's talking about you know, some information coming in. This page, the pages would work for the king and queen, and they would start really young, around 7 to 14. You have to remember back in those days, the life expectancy was like maybe half of what it is now. So people didn't live, you know, they started working very young. This would be a huge coup to be like chosen to work for the king and the queen, dressed in finery, you know, being educated, learning how to deliver messages, communication within the palace walls. And they would be given more responsibility as they were able to deal with it. And if they worked out when they were 21, they might be considered for knighthood, and as long as they could pay for a horse. So this is talking about the energy. He's not looking at the sword because he already knows that what the logical question is, and he understands that the sword is two-edged, just like the sword of justice. This is edged with, one edge is your logic and the other edge is your intuition. So he's looking away from the logical side, and now he's thinking outside the box, and he wants to use his intuition to come to a creative solution to whatever this information is when he delivers it. Now, in the old days, this would always be a male, but this could easily be a female in their masculine energy now. And all of the figures in the tarot are really archetypes. So they're not gender specific. They can be masculine or feminine. Like this could be a female in her masculine energy, and the queen could be a male in his feminine energy. So this is talking about the information also is not necessarily going to be in person, and actually quite likely not these days. It could easily be a message coming in, a phone call, a text message, something coming in the mail, possibly an email. You're on social media on one of the platforms, your message there. There's all sorts of forms of communication. You could see an event posted and then go to it and then maybe meet someone and meet someone in person. Also, this is a good idea to pay attention what's happening at the top of the pyramid, because whatever's happening there is definitely going to trickle down, and it's going to, it could be really inspiring information that you see somewhere in a podcast or whatever. That's what I love. I love watching different podcasts and seeing different people's perspectives on things. I've learned so much that way, and I'll purposely watch people that I would never like. I've been watching gamers and live streamers, and I find it really interesting I like to see what different generations are talking about, what the masculine energy is talking about, what the feminine energy is talking about. Things that I wouldn't normally experience like in everyday life. And I feel that it's almost like traveling. It broadens your horizons, it gives you more information to understand a bunch of different points of view. And that's what this energy is about. Sometimes this can represent a detective energy. It can represent like an investigation going on, it can sometimes be that kind of energy, using technology. We've had a few hot mic incidences in Canada lately, and it's very interesting. Like there's this energy is kind of talking about that. I do feel in big part it's because of Uranus moving into Gemini. And that happened about a month ago. And man, ever since then, like I noticed this about a month before that, where there was definitely a major shift in the energy. I could feel it coming in. And it's kind of like, okay, like time's up. You have to pick a side here. Like justice is coming in. And it's really interesting because day after day now, there's these You know, the truth is coming out in the weirdest ways about the weirdest things. And it's coming out of nowhere, kind of like in weird situations. That's that Gemini energy. And the last time we were in this energy was way back in 1941 to 1949. And that was when World War II was happening. And we're still dealing with the truths coming in from that. We still haven't covered the whole, you know, thing. And this energy is now very similar to that energy. And so we're seeing that all around the world right now. And, you know, Uranus is going to be in Gemini for the next 7.5 to 8 years. So that's why I keep mentioning it. Better get used to it, because this weird kind of energy is with us for quite some, until 2033. And by then, hopefully, we'll have cleared up all the bullshit in the world. I hope so. But for now, it's no use getting upset about some of this stuff. Some of it's really upsetting what's coming out. But you know, we have to be in a position where we sometimes can have a sense of humor about some of it, because otherwise, like, it would be so depressing. But like, you know, you may as well get the popcorn out and sometimes just watch. Like, no way. Like, you're like, are you kidding me? This is how the truth is coming out in the strangest ways, and deep truths, like about, you know, things that have been going on for decades, in some cases for generations. So the Page of Pentacles is also coming in. So now the Page is, you know, you see how focused he is on his pentacle here. And so this is talking, sometimes this can be talking about, you know, new energy coming in as far as your career. It can be about information around, like, just like the same as this energy, you know, with the internet. It can be so many different ways that the information comes in. But this will be about business. It'll be about your lifestyle, you know, about business deals maybe. It could be talking about why the Queen of Pentacles has to be so resourceful. I almost regret asking that, but like, she's not satisfied as of yet. She still says, I still don't know 100%. So we'll keep going. We'll keep asking the question. There might be quite a few Queen of Pentacles out here that are asking this question. I've been hearing that a little bit in the comments. Some people are pretty irate about the whole situation, and I don't blame them. It's hard to be in a position where you're waiting for justice and it seems like it's not coming in. But we don't understand really what God's timing is, and so sometimes the truth comes when it in God's good time, basically. This is the Wounded Warrior. It's talking about that energy. There's a, you know, he's got a Band-Aid around his head there. Like, he's got a headache from this energy. Like, this is like, when is this going to be cleared up? And it's talking about the Wounded Warrior is someone that has been doing his best to get shift done the correct way, stay on their destined path, be a decent human being, like the vast majority of people on the planet. This is the energy of the vast majority of people going to work, doing the best job they can at work, you know, caring about what they do. A lot of people are in this energy and dealing with all the bullshit around them that's going on, and just wondering, like, it's exhausting, you know? And so this is talking about having been able to plant 8 wands here, leaning heavy on the 9th. So this is, but I really do feel that most of humanity is in this energy. You know, most people, they want peace. They want to, they just want to enjoy life. They don't want to have to deal with all this bullshit. It's like, what? Like, can't we just live, you know? It's that type of energy. And we have the Hangman. So the Hangman is hanging from the Tree of Knowledge, and he is hanging there because he wants to gain a different perspective on life. Like, he wants to look at it from all angles before making a choice of which way to move, because he's tired. And so this is, sometimes this can talk about energy that's been stuck, you know, for a while, like a, you know, a decade or more. And it's like, okay, like, you know, I've looked at it from every angle. I've managed to plant these 8 wands. I'm on the 9th. I still have 1 to go to complete this journey, this cycle that I'm in. And I'm pooped. Like, I'm tired. And so sometimes this can talk about stuck energy. You know, if you hang around too long, of course you're going to get a headache. Do you want to come up here? No, you can't go outside. My cat wants to go outside, and she's not allowed outside without her harness and on the balcony. We're high up. Yeah, I know. It's dark out there. There's hawks out there. You don't want to be out there. She's like, yeah, I do. So this is talking about the energy of the Two of Cups is talking about a soulmate energy coming in. So this could be a soul agreement to hook up in this lifetime. It doesn't have to be romantic, but quite often it is. This is talking about masculine, and this, like, each of these people is very balanced in their energy, in their masculine and feminine energy. And when they come together, they're not completing each other. They're just like, they enjoy each other's company, and they made an agreement on a soul level to get together in this lifetime. Sometimes this comes up that they do this every lifetime. If you don't believe in lifetimes, it doesn't really matter. You can think of this as different cycles in your life, basically. And so this is an energy. There's enough people on the planet that do believe in that, so it affects everybody. But this is talking about the healing energy of Mercury. And this is actually Virgo energy. And this is the Hermes symbol. This is about healing, coming together. And the healing happens before they come together. And then they can empower each other to go on their destined journey. Sometimes this card can just represent you coming together within yourself. And this does represent the higher self network. So this is a very strong connection to source energy, what I call through HSN, the higher self network. It's like being on the internet, logging on. The difference is, like, on the internet, you log in and you log off. On the higher self network, you're logged in 24/7, whether you're aware of it or not. You always have access. And look at this, we have the King of Pentacles, or the Knight of Pentacles, coming in. So the Knight of Pentacles represents this same person. This is the same person, this energy. So this would be someone that has been working for the King of Pentacles or the Queen of Pentacles now. If they started at, say, age 7, they were very mature for their age. And they're now like 35 or something like that. I mean, that's a long time. So when this card comes up, quite often it can represent that this could be someone that you know from your childhood, from when you were going to elementary school, high school, starting college, that kind of thing. Or it could be someone that you haven't seen for 7 years, 14 years, 21 years. It can talk about the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving of all the knights. He's literally at a standstill here. Sometimes he has to have a board meeting with himself just to brush his teeth. It's like annoying, waiting and waiting for this energy to come in. But when he does come in, it's usually a pretty solid offer. He's done his research, he's done his homework, and he wants to make sure that he has the facts right. And then we have the High Priestess energy. So this is talking about using your intuition as well as your logic again. It's really saying to move out of this energy. You need to really, you first and foremost, make the effort that you are to heal your heart by asking the divine for help to do so. This is a lot of energy being directed your way. And then also, I feel like it goes way back for some of it. So this is people definitely, it feels like from your inner circle, people that you've known for a long time are involved in this energy. This could also be talking about the soulmate coming in, being someone that you know from back then. This could be something that happened when you were a child and you don't remember it. Whatever energy that is. So we're talking here about the High Priestess using her intuition, and she's sitting in between these two pillars. There are two extremes, like opposites, and all of this behind her is talking about all the information. And so information does equal energy. So she has to deal with, okay, I'm going to sort through all this information logically. I'm going to ask the question and see, okay, maybe she gets 10 answers. Then she'll use her intuition. Okay, and you can use your intuition You know, a lot of people confuse the mind with the brain, but the brain is really our central nervous system. And we get sensations in our body when we're in alignment with energy, or when we're weak to it, we'll feel it. You know, a lot of people describe it as like, you know, an elevator dropping, you know, that feeling in your gut. So you can start to notice when you get those feelings that, oh, this is like, I'm not, I like, and one of them sticks out, the odd one. Oh, that's what I'm going to do. And so it's like any one of the, like, say 10 answers she does come up with logically could possibly work, but which is the best one for this situation? That's when her intuition kicks in. Then she'll apply that one answer logically, and it's a creative solution that's probably going to be more efficient than a lot of the other answers that she would have come up with if she didn't use her intuition as well. And she's joyful because she does this often. This is how she lives, and so she quite often has the right answers. And she's sitting in between two very big extremes, because this pillar represents Jesus and this one represents the devil. So it's pretty intense energy. And then look at this, feeling left out in the cold, isolation. So yeah, this energy can be talking about, you know, the people that want you in this position. They have you isolated. They've maybe been ruining your career and reputation. There's a lot of talk behind your back, that type of energy. So maybe, yeah, that doesn't work out so well for your work life. And, you know, like, so this is talking, maybe you've been feeling like you've been left out in the cold and isolated. But with this energy here, I feel this is sometimes rejection is God's protection. And I feel like we're seeing at the top, you know, there's all these people that are like, all of a sudden the weirdest thing happens and they are exposed for what they've been doing. And this energy, I feel, is sometimes this rejection is God's protection, so that you're not hanging out with them, so that when they get hit by the justice and the karma, you're haven't had anything to do with them for a long time. Like you're not in communication with them. You don't go anywhere with them. You haven't had anything to do with them. As soon as you realize that they were behind this energy, that was it. You cut off all ties with the people. It doesn't matter who this is. Like, this is definitely people and you know, here, like, this is more than one person. And so this energy is talking about a lot of tactics being used to put someone in this position. The being left out in the cold, the snowflakes, you know, anyone can handle a flake or two, but when, you know, they pile up and you have to shovel it every day on top of everything else, it can really wear you down. And, you know, we have someone on crutches here, and they've got this plague bell around their neck. In the old days, when they thought that they were contagious with something, they would be forced to wear a bell, and it would be really loud. And so when they came into town, everybody would run in the other direction. So it made it hard to get a job, right? They didn't have apps back then to isolate people. And so this energy here is talking about, this person doesn't even have shoes and they're walking in the snow. So, you know, there's only 5 pentacles between them. That's not enough for them to be able to keep up payments on a home or whatever. And so this is but there is a church here, so maybe they go in the church and they are brought in out of the cold. Sometimes this energy can be like feeling like you've never fit in kind of energy. And quite often it'll come up in the readings that you're a child of God and you're meant to stick out. You're not meant to blend in with other people, and you're not meant to associate with people that would do this kind of thing. And, you know, I already explained that sooner. So yeah, this is definitely, this can sometimes be self-isolation, or sometimes like you might be isolated for a long time and be thinking like, where's my justice? Like, these people that are doing this, they're traveling, they're doing this, they're doing that, but their spiritual bank account is on empty. And so when justice gets called, it's like, it's good that you're not involved in that energy. And this is talking about heartache, to some information coming in about pentacles, and then we have the wounded warrior energy. And as I said, I feel that most people right now, you know, a lot of people feel this way, like I do things the right way, and it seems like the energy is always okay, like bail out people that already are rich, and like there's just all sorts of things that are happening right now that are really challenging for people, you know, with oil prices up and groceries high and people just wanting to live a good life, you know, decent people going to work every day. The wounded warrior energy. And then we have this energy of the high priestess. It's saying you need to use your intuition as well as your logic. And sometimes it's better to be isolated. Rejection is God's protection. We have the Knight of Pentacles energy. This can be talking about some information that's been taking a really, really, really long time to come in. But now maybe finally this information is coming in, and maybe the Queen is going to find out. And maybe if she quits showing up in every reading, then we'll know that, you know, but you see in this energy, she still feels like she doesn't have her answer in this reading. She's still sitting here having to be resourceful, and she's off to the side from this reading. Yet she's sitting here with the foolhardy energy, so she's still been on her path. So this is maybe a soulmate is due to come in. She's going to, and this is going to be a happy, you know, she's destined to be happy. Stay on the path and keep being a generous, good person. Yeah, this energy, it takes a lot to heal from this type of energy. So we'll see what this energy, and maybe the King of Wands is going to, you know, show up here, and maybe, you know, that has something to do with the soulmate energy. It's hard to say at this point. Like, it just feels like this is the story of a whole bunch of people on the planet right now, kind of hanging in there, waiting for, you know, just waiting for things to shift, basically. I feel like a lot of people feel that way right now. And okay, I'm going to clarify this with my oracle here. If you're leaving the reading here, thank you for your time and energy, your likes, comments. They're really appreciated. And when you subscribe, I am honored. And I am going to clarify with this oracle cards. We have the numbers on these cards represent the paintings in the order that they are in my gallery. And I will put them in the order they appear here, and it'll be in the description box below, and as well as the information for my website. Sometimes looking at a picture can, you know, paint 1,000 words, so they say. So we already discussed this energy. The Gemini, I was talking about that earlier. I think that's coming in, well, partly because Mercury is going retrograde on the 29th, along with the Capricorn full moon. I do apologize if you've been watching my readings in the last week. I talk about Mercury in retrograde. I wrote down in my notes, I got Capricorn and Cancer mixed up for the full moon, and I wrote down the Cancer instead of Capricorn. So I was saying it was a Cancer full moon, but it's actually a Capricorn full moon. So if you heard that, like, it's the same energy. It's the back and forth between, well, it's not the same energy. It's the back and forth between the public image and your business life, and then the Cancer energy is your family life and like your home. So more your domestic side, but the tension is coming from the career side, not so much from the home side, and that's where I messed up. So I do apologize for that. But the Mercury retrograde is in Cancer, so it's intensifying that home energy. So that's that part of this, because Gemini is ruled by Mercury, but it's also talking about Uranus. And that energy is bringing the truth out. So we have the Emperor. This is high-level performance. The Emperor, it's talking about maybe the Emperor is going to be responsible for bringing some sort of justice in. This is talking about someone who is, you know, all four. He embodies all four of the kings in one person, and it's talking about justice coming in. So perhaps the Emperor comes in with justice, and maybe that's the soulmate. or it could be this, because this is wishing upon a star. If you wish upon the star, then that energy is talking about, you know, if you're wishing on something, and you just sit there, you can't wonder, oh, why didn't anything happen? Well, quit sitting there and do, you know, you have to put some of your energy into it. And then, so the wishing, it's a wish. It's not something you have as of yet. This is sitting on the King of Wands. So yeah, the King of Wands is awesome to hang out with. So maybe that's the soulmate energy coming in. And the Emperor is the one that is going to bring the justice in, so that the Queen of Pentacles is finally satisfied. Oh, why she's not receiving, why do I have to be so damn resourceful when I come from generational wealth? She wants to know. And she's had to be very temperate about it. This is talking about having the devotion to stay on your destined path, regardless of all the energy being directed your way. And that, you know, this is talking about controlling your emotions. And we do have a transition coming in on this energy. I do feel that eventually this energy will shift for sure. It always does eventually. And then we have the Empress. So this is interesting. I do feel that this is saying, the Queen of Pentacles, because she's been in this energy for such a long time and isolated, it has caused her to be able to really move up to Empress status. So I feel like this is now saying we have the Empress here, and we have justice coming in from the Emperor, and I feel that is the couple, the soulmate energy here. All right, that's clarified. We have lack of awareness. You become Emperor and Empress status because you've had enough life experience and still managed to stay on your destined path despite everything you've been through. So lack of awareness can cause, you know, like, it's never underestimate the power of willful ignorance. Sometimes we sit in this energy a lot longer because the people that are involved, some of them, are people that we love, and we don't want to we don't want to see it. Like, we don't want to think of them that way. So never underestimate the power of willful ignorance. This can cause a lot of missed opportunities. So if you've missed a lot of opportunities because you haven't been aware or don't want to see what's really going on around you, you're thinking, oh, it's just I need to do something different or whatever. But no, you're being sabotaged. They're smiling in your face and then they're stabbing you in the back, you know. And so you have to, sometimes you finally have to admit, okay, this is going on, and to be able to clear the energy. We have the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor, though. So this is really talking about all the synchronicities coming together to move towards God's plan. And then we have Leo energy. So Leo energy is talking about being a leader, being in the sun. This Leo energy is ruled by the sun, and Leo energy is talking about being natural born leader. But as I said, Leo, you know, this is also a fire sign. Fire signs have a tendency to take a little bit longer to mature. So it could be, you know, that quite often Leo energy will come off as being arrogant, because they're not feeling as confident as they want to, so then they fill that up with arrogance. So this is a habit that sometimes we all can get into, and when we're proud, we don't want to show that, you know, oh, we don't know what we're doing or whatever. So this is talking, whenever the horoscope signs come into the reading, I just want to point out that my goal is not to identify specific people. I'm pulling the energy out we all have, if you get your birth chart done, you'll see that you have all the signs in your chart, and we can learn from the horoscope signs. And so this energy is more about the state of being of the sign. So the Gemini energy definitely is talking about, I feel, the energy of Uranus moving into Gemini. And this is talking about eventually coming out of this and being a leader. If this is an Emperor and an Empress and they get together and they're soulmates, this is going to be a power couple for sure. So, you know, and it's kind of like, well, how is that going to happen? I still feel like I'm here. You have to just, you know, what happened, like, it can take a long time to get to this point. And it can be like, you know, half a day later, everything has changed. So just because it took a long time to get here doesn't mean that it has to take a long time to heal from it. That's a lot of people feel, oh, it takes time to heal. It doesn't have to take time to heal. You have to, you have to put the energy into it. Like, how much energy are you going to put into healing? It's more about that. And the guiding star is talking about using your intuition. Again, it's saying that a lot of the readings are saying this. Don't just use your logic, because nothing's logical these days. You may have noticed that. And we do have Scorpio energy here as well. So this is about being in, you know, like, are you going to elevate people, or are you going to conquer them? And so it's kind of this energy here. I mean, if you're in a better position than these two people, you know, and you sometimes, maybe someone's not that well educated, or like whatever that has happened to them in their heart. We don't know what people have gone through. So judgment is best left to God, like when it comes to judging people. I mean, that's not saying we can't judge people's actions, of course. But we don't really know what drives people. Like, we think we do, but a lot of times we don't know maybe how hurt someone is. So, or what has happened to them to make them grumpy that day or whatever. So this is just talking about use your intuition, and, you know, do the best that you can in the energy. Scorpio energy is really good at uniting people. But sometimes if they're feeling weak, they might have a bad day and conquer instead of elevating. It's that type of energy. So yeah, I feel this is just talking about kind of, I don't think the Queen of Pentacles is totally satisfied, but she likes the idea of being on her journey in a strong way is good. And so we'll just keep asking the question, Queen of Pentacles. All right. I do hope you've enjoyed this. I enjoy your comments. Thank you for them, and your likes. It's really helping me build my channel. And I'm honored when you subscribe, if you resonate with the energy of the channel. All right. You have a good one, and I will have another reading for you tomorrow. Bye for now.